Hey guys, this is Kim with Salvaged Living. I'm here to do some easy DIY for a life and home redeemed. I'm going to go over something really fun with you guys today. I'm just glad to have you here at the YouTube channel hanging out with me for a little bit because what we're going to talk about is really fun. It's the spring trends that I saw at market. So when you know what the spring trends are, and actually trends that are going to carry us throughout the year, you can look for those when you're in a flea market, when you're at a garage sale, or maybe even in your own closets and cabinets. And of course, you can look in all the regular stores as well. For those of you who don't know, market is where boutique owners and shop owners go to fill up their stores. It's where they get a lot of their items that they sell. And what you're going to see is patterns emerging throughout market that all of the designers are putting out, and that's what you're going to see carry throughout the year. So it's fun to get those ideas ahead of time, early, before they even hit the stores, and then you're kind of on top of it. And you can add these little things as accents to your home, or just find fun ways to incorporate them if they're ideas that you like. So I hope it gives you some inspiration today, but we're going to go through some pictures that I took while I was at market, and I'll just tell you a little bit about the trends that I saw. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is patterned dishware. It was graphic patterns are everywhere, a lot of black and white, but also a lot of green and white. It's kind of almost like an enameled ware look. So a lot of times the outside of the bowls are one color, but then the inside is that graphic pattern or vice versa. Everything from candle holders to plates and dishes to serving pieces, tons of stuff with this graphic patterns. So you're going to start seeing that pop up everywhere. And that's a fun way you can incorporate that into your house, is maybe just add some graphic salad plates to the dishware you already have if you don't want to go all into this graphic pattern situation. You just want to do some accents. Or maybe you can just get a couple fun picture frames or candlesticks or something like that. But graphic is hot. The next thing that I saw a lot of was what I called pretty littles. So this is just classic pieces that kind of are statement pieces on their own. This is great if you do thrift or do flea market shopping, because you can find some really great antique pieces or vintage pieces that are kind of what I'm talking about. Like a lot of the beautiful scissors that you would snip twine and yarn with, or magnifying glasses. And those in and of themselves are actually really popular, and I've seen from a lot of the suppliers here at market this year. So be on the lookout, because old school magnifying glasses are kind of going to be everywhere. They're really fun. You can just lay them on a stack of books. You can open up an old journal or ledger or something like that and lay it on top, and it just makes for a really beautiful table or coffee kind of scape. The next thing that I saw a lot of, and I'm always on board with this, is botanicals. And by botanicals, I mean a little bit of the old school type of graphics, a lot of hand-drawn botanicals. Some of them looked like pressed leaves, lots and lots of artwork that is inspired by botanicals. So it's not floral so much, but it's more of a skeleton type of floral. But there's a lot of that all over the place. The next one I don't think is really hard to guess, because it's been in style for a while, but I don't think it's going anywhere, and that's charcuterie. Whether that is actually entertaining with charcuterie and eating and making fun meals or appetizers for people, and actually using really beautiful breadboards, or if it's just taking the charcuterie kind of supplies and decorating with those, either way, it's a win. I think it's so much fun because charcuterie kind of makes everybody happy. There's something for everyone. And then when you have guests and you're done, you can clean it up and use those boards or trays or whatever it is you're using to entertain with as decor. So it's kind of like a double whammy, super fun decor item that you need to be on the lookout for. And a lot of like glass domes and things like that, covering up like cheese and different fruits and vegetables and things like that. So super fun. The next thing that is it's not brand new, it's come back around, but it's really, really hot right now, and it's everywhere, is rattan. So if you think of the old cane chair backing kind of rattan that's got the crisscrosses and the holes like you can see in the pictures here, people are putting it on everything. So flower vases, it's being molded into ceramics, all the accents, chandeliers, you're going to see it in bags and clothes, in furniture, and in all the small accents. So they have pottery that looks like rattan. It's just a really beautiful texture that is going to be popping up in everybody's home. So you might even have some old rattan somewhere, or you can DIY with it. You can actually buy sheets of caning and rattan, and you could work that into your DIY projects if you wanted to do something and update it with a trend. The next thing is chandeliers. And I saw a lot of wood bead and rattan, or woven type of chandeliers. So wood bead chandeliers kind of had a moment a while back, and they kind of tapered off a little bit, but they're coming back a full force. And a lot of it's very natural wood beads, natural wood rattan color. So they're a little bit boho feel that kind of go with all the styles. It's an elegant looking chandelier type without taking too much attention and making too much of an impact or a statement. It's just a subtle, really beautiful piece that you can add to your style. So I really liked that one. The next thing I saw everywhere, and this is kind of fun because you could obviously buy these as faux, but you can go on a walk and collect them yourself, is branches. I saw massive tree branches laid out on tables, hanging from the ceiling. Saw wispy tree branches in vases. Some of them have leaves, some of them don't. Some are real, some are faux. There's just a lot of nature flying around. It's so dramatic, it adds height to a space. If you put it on a table or something like that, you still have a line of sight where you can see through it. So it's really a pretty accent piece that just kind of shapes a room. And I love the fact that this is something that you can do really easily on your own on the tightest of budgets. So don't even hesitate. And I also saw some of it that was spray painted. So you might take some branches from the yard and spray paint them white or gold or something like that, just to do a really dramatic accent in your house. The next thing that I saw a lot of, and this is always in style, but the pieces that you can do it with were everywhere, and they were a lot more interesting than they traditionally have been, is height. Anytime you have a table setting or a little vignette that you have styled in your home, you're going to want to have a height variation. It's more interesting to the eye for you to have highs and lows in your decor. So if you need things like risers or cake stands or pedestals to elevate some of your decor, you're in luck, because there's some really, really beautiful ones coming to market right now. And some of them can be cake stands. You can use them in the kitchen for food, for serving, but most of these can be moved throughout your house to just elevate some of your knickknacks, your candles, picture frames, any of your really cute little vintage pieces or something like that. You can always add a glass dome on top or a cloche to just elevate it a little bit more. But I saw a lot of really beautiful, what I call height pieces. Another thing that I was a little bit surprised to see and kind of happy about was that cast iron was making a comeback. So I think that was something that had been around probably 15 years ago or so. Very heavy accents with cast iron. It kind of went away and now it's coming back. I feel like it's a little more modern, a little more straight edged, a little more feminine pieces than the heavy, chunky cast iron pieces that we used to see. But there was lots of things like candlesticks, there was chandeliers, different things like that, and that very traditional wrought iron. So it's kind of one of those things that never really goes out of style, but was definitely very popular this year. And this next one I'm going to talk about kind of goes back to some of the others that we were talking about because they're partners, and that's the glass cloches. So any of the glass domes, anytime you put glass on top of something, it could be the smallest of small things. It could be a little piece from nature, a bird's nest, an acorn, something like that. You just really elevate it when you put it under glass. So that's a beautiful way to take something that would look really lost on a table. It would be small and lost, but put it on a tray, put it on a pedestal, and then put some glass over it, and you instantly have something that demands attention and is a beautiful vignette. And once again, those are very classic pieces. And they had some really cool shaped ones. That's one thing I will say, is they weren't just the traditional domes. They had beautiful handles, or they had a little more different silhouette to them. Just very, very elegant. The next thing I want to talk about is color. So I was really happy to see a lot of color, but the colors were different than what I was expecting. They were very muted colors, like a very washed, cozy, worn feel, but they were also colors that you might traditionally think of in the fall, like mustards and that olive green, lots of browns, and very dusty pinks, just colors that, like I said, they're usually in a darker hue for the fall. They were in a lighter, more mellow color for the spring, and I love them. They feel very worn in, very cozy. They just feel very natural and kind of cheery, just warm. It's the best thing I can say. One of the other things I saw a lot of was marble. And we all know that marble is a classic design element. It's been so popular over the last few years in people's countertops and flooring and their tiles, the backsplash, bathrooms, but it's creeping into all the small pieces now. So there's lots of vases, there's coasters, there's picture frames, there's breadboards with marble worked into the wood and things like that. And you're also going to see a comeback of furniture with marble tabletops, which is way, way old school from you can find antiques like that, but they haven't been making new furniture like that. And I definitely saw pieces like that throughout Market. So look for marble accents. Another thing that was really fun, and I saw this in a lot of pillows, a lot of wall hangings, different things like that, was a mixed media type of feel. So by that I mean a lot of different textures and elements to decorate a piece. So there were pillow covers that were three-dimensional. They would have different, not just fabric, but fabric with trim on it, or pom-poms, or bells, or layers, or different things like that. And so it was a very dimensional thing. You're going to see that in all of the textiles. Like there's going to be wall art that's three-dimensional, tea towels that are three-dimensional, pillows, bedding, things like that. So just that more layered feel. It feels more handmade. It's not just that flat silk screen or flat printed feel. It's a lot more elegant and homey feeling, which is really nice. Kind of a kickback to the DIY, like homemade type of thing. One of my very favorite things, and it's kind of never been out of style, but I was surprised by how much it was at Market to buy new, is white dishes. So you're gonna see a little bit of a kickback that's kind of like the old ironstone or white china, ceramics, and everything from dishware to the accent pieces for your home decor. A lot of the statues and the figurines, like for Easter, there was lots of rabbits, different things like that, are solid white. It's that white, neutral, cozy, like a soft white, not a stark white. Really beautiful. Like soup tureens are very big right now. New ones, old ones, you can mix and match them in your new and old ones. Layering different types of plates, even though they're all white, they had a lot more pattern built into them. Some of them had like the rattan around the edge that was built into the ceramic or the plate, and platters and things like that. So a lot of texture, but still very white. It's really pretty. Another thing was flowers. And by flowers, I don't mean real flowers. I mean not even fake flowers, but things like metal flowers, wooden flowers, glass flowers. So faux flowers, but a different take on a faux flower. It was like different materials and elements that made flowers. So it was really interesting, like flowers covering boxes, on vases, on picture frames, things like that. Some of them just really beautiful flowers that would sit on a bookshelf or on a stack of books or something like that. Just really beautiful accents that were floral, but a whole new level of faux. So those are the main ideas that I saw repeatedly at Market. It doesn't mean that's all there is, but they were definitely some of my favorites and some things that I think you should be looking for or trying to work into your own decor if you want to just freshen it up a little bit and bring it to what's going to be in the stores. You can kind of be ahead of the curve. So I hope you enjoyed those tips. And if you did, please make sure you're following along on the YouTube channel and hit the little bell so you get notifications when we have new videos. We're bringing new stuff all the time. So I appreciate you hanging out with me today, and I will see you next time. Thanks, guys.